Let's get started with our first news. Kabib Nurmagomedov presses Daniel Cormier and apparently squashes the long-standing beef with Conor McGregor. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, Daniel Cormier just dropped a bombshell that absolutely no one saw coming. On a recent episode of his show, DC revealed something that genuinely shocked fans and has stirred up major conversations throughout the MMA world. According to DC, Kabib Nurmagomedov said he would shake Conor McGregor's hand if they ever crossed paths, and specifically if Conor's family was present. That's right, let that sink in. This is the same Kabib who leaped over the octagon after UFC 2029 to go after Conor's team. The same Kabib who called Conor disrespectful, who said the rivalry was personal, and who vowed never to forget what was said and done during that dark chapter in UFC history. And yet now, Kabib is talking about a handshake? This isn't just a minor shift, it's massive. And here's why that last part about family matters. Anyone who truly knows Kabib understands how much he values family, respect, and principles. These aren't just words for him, they're core beliefs. He lives by them. But things got even deeper. Daniel Cormier went on to explain that he actually had a heated argument with Kabib about this very topic. Apparently, Kabib once confronted DC directly, questioning why he was being so friendly with Conor. The Eagle didn't appreciate it. And Kabib brought up something powerful. He reminded DC that he had personally stayed away from Jon Jones out of respect. Not because he had any issue with Jones himself, but because Jones and DC had serious beef. And Kabib wasn't about to befriend someone who had that kind of history with his friend. That was his stance. And he expected DC to take the same position with Conor. During that emotional back and forth, Kabib made it clear he would be willing to shake Conor's hand only if Conor was with his wife. Because in Kabib's mind, that situation calls for a different kind of behavior, a show of respect, not just for the person, but for the presence of family. Let's not forget, this is the Kabib and Conor rivalry we're talking about. It wasn't just trash talk, it was raw, it was culture, it was religion, it was about lines being crossed and no return in sight, the bus attack, the insults, the post-fight chaos at UFC 229. These weren't marketing stunts, it was war. So for Kabib to now say he'd offer a handshake, even under specific conditions, that's not just news, it's a massive shift in attitude, a shocking evolution. DC shared more on the podcast. I saw Conor in Abu Dhabi, he said. I don't remember who he was fighting. Maybe Dustin. We shook hands, talked a bit, we're kind of chummy. Then Kabib saw it. He said, brother, I don't understand. If I see Conor with his wife, I'll shake his hand. That's what you're supposed to do. At first, DC admits he resisted Kabib's point, but later, after talking to people close to him, he came around. They told me, Daniel, he's right. Look how loyal he's been to you. Why wouldn't you show the same loyalty? And when Kabib was asked about Jon Jones, he made it clear, I've never had any issue with Jon, he's a great fighter, but because my friend Daniel Cormier has a problem with him, he can't be my friend. That is loyalty, that is principle, that is Kabib Nurmagomedov. Moving on to our second news, Max Holloway breaks down why an Ilia Topuria rematch would look different. Max recently opened up about this potential rematch and explained in detail why things might change dramatically if they meet again. According to him, the biggest difference is that this time they'd both be fighting at lightweight instead of featherweight. That extra weight isn't just a small factor, it changes everything in the fight game. It affects pace, durability, power, and even strategy. Max firmly believes that without the brutal cut down to 145 pounds, both he and Ilia will be able to show more of their true abilities. He says it levels the playing field in a way fans didn't see the first time they fought. Cutting weight is not just about numbers on a scale, it's torture. It drains your energy, affects your cardio, and can even weaken your chin. By fighting at lightweight, both of them would be healthier, stronger, and more explosive. According to Max, that could completely transform how their rematch would play out. But let's be honest for a second, no one is really clamoring for this rematch right now. The reality is, Ilia Topuria beat Max fair and square in their last meeting. There was no controversy. No split decision, no questionable stoppage. El Matador simply got the job done. And the division, it's stacked with fresh matchups that fans are far more excited about. There's no shortage of hungry contenders and new blood ready to make their mark. Fans want chaos, surprises, and new stories. They don't necessarily want to see a rerun of something they already watched and felt was settled. Still, it's not surprising at all that Max is pushing for the rematch. He's a true warrior through and through. He's not wired to simply accept a loss and move on quietly. That's not in his DNA. He's the type of fighter who will chase that run back no matter what, no matter how long it takes, no matter who doubts him. It's the same exact mentality you see with Alexander Volkanovski. Both these guys are CUT from the same cloth. High-level, prideful competitors who just cannot let an L sit on their record without trying to get it back. For them, this isn't just a sport. It's personal. It's legacy. It's about proving to themselves and the world that they can overcome anyone. The only issue is that the fans don't really share that same urgency. They've seen how those fights went. They want new faces, new rivalries, and fresh matchups that shake things up. But for Max and for Volk, these aren't just fights. They're unfinished business. They're personal quests to settle scores the right way. When asked directly if anything would truly be different fighting Ilia at lightweight, Max didn't hesitate. He said, yeah, I mean, we're both gonna be 10 pounds heavier than at 45. That's about it. Right now, without looking past Dustin, I gotta go out there, make my claim, do something special, get my hand raised, have a moment for me. He was crystal clear about his focus. All this he said, she said. Like I said, first I fight the man, we'll see. First things first is Dustin. Then we can focus on all that noise after. It's classic Max Holloway, laser focused on what's next, but never letting go of that hunger for redemption. Now moving on to another news story. Caio Borralho fires back at the MMA community for his recent Khamzat retirement comments. This entire situation has turned into quite the drama fest, sparking debate all over the MMA world. It all began when Caio claimed he'd heard whispers that Kamzot Chimaev might retire if he wins the middleweight belt at UFC 319. That was enough to set fans and fighters off. Naturally, not everyone liked hearing rumors about one of the UFC's most hyped and dangerous contenders, and Borralho has now truly fired back at all the backlash. As you know, Kamzat is set to fight the reigning middleweight king Dricus du Plessis on August 16th. It's one of the year's most highly anticipated matchups, with expectations sky high. So when Borralho, during an interview with MMA Ho, claimed he'd heard talk that Kamzat might hang up the gloves if he wins, people went wild. Not surprisingly, many immediately questioned his sources. Who told him? Was it even credible? Was he just chasing clout? Jose Luis was one of his harshest critics, posting in Portuguese mocking him and calling him Caio Mentorninha, basically accusing him of being a serial rumor spreader. And to be fair, Luis had reasons for the mockery. He was pointing to Borralho's past slip-ups, like the time he falsely claimed Dricus du Plessis was injured and wouldn't fight at UFC 319, which turned out to be completely false, or the time he wrongly reported that Ben Askren had DID. That one forced him to delete the post and apologize, but the damage to his reputation was done. So after this latest round of drama exploded, Borralho didn't stay quiet. He clapped back hard in Portuguese, saying, "You guys are such drama queens. You can't watch an interview without making millions of desperate clickbait posts." He tried to explain he wasn't stating it as fact, just that he heard it. "I can say I heard it. I can say someone told me, but you all go and say that I said it." But in classic Caio fashion, he couldn't stay mad for long. He later softened up, posting, "Dude, I love you guys. Holy crap, I can't even stay mad. You guys are awesome." Meanwhile, all this drama is happening as Borralho prepares for arguably the biggest fight of his career. He's set to face Nasruddin Imavov on the UFC's September 6th card in Paris, about expected to be a title shot eliminator. Caio even kept things spicy online, posting in Portuguese, "The devil lost his spot. The father of lies is now me. Damn it," and taking a jab at Imavov's national ties. This is the guy who represents France? He trains in other countries. His trainers are Russians. I don't get it. So what's your take on Borralho's fiery comments? Can he defeat Imavov and secure that title shot? The fight world will be watching. Moving on to another news story, Arman Sarakan wants to see Kamzot Chamav become champion. This is a big deal, especially considering the level of respect Arman commands as one of the best lightweights in the UFC right now. Kamzot is currently deep in preparation for his upcoming fight with Dricus du Plessis, the reigning middleweight champion. And he's not doing it alone. He's brought in top-tier help, including Arman Sarakan, to make sure he's as ready as possible for what is shaping up to be one of the most anticipated fights of the year. Kamzot is officially booked to challenge du Plessis at UFC 319 in Chicago. As the event draws closer, the hype is building fast, and the sportsbooks still have Kamzot as the clear betting favorite. Fans see him as the monster of the division, an undefeated wrecking machine who seems destined to take the belt. Recently, Todorokian made it very clear that he wants to see Kamzot get his hand raised and hear those iconic words and new on fight night. He's not just casually supporting him, he's actively investing his own time and skills to help him prepare. During a recent appearance on the Jackson podcast, Arman talked about what it's been like to be part of Khamzat's camp. He said, "Hello everybody, I'm Arman Sarakan. We have a training camp with Khamzat. He's getting ready for his title fight. He looks sharp. So excited to see him become UFC champion." And he didn't stop there. He went on to talk about the overall energy and vibe in camp. "So far, camp is going well. He's healthy. He has a lot of energy. I'm just here to help with whatever they need. If they need wrestling, I'll wrestle. If they need striking, I'll strike. I want him to be UFC champion." That's the kind of dedication you want from a training partner. Someone who isn't just there for themselves, but is willing to adapt, sacrifice, and contribute in any way necessary to make sure the team succeeds. Of course, it's no surprise that Arman is backing him. When you spend that much time grinding together in camp, pushing each other to the limits, you build a bond. And while Sarakan wouldn't exactly go public if Khamzat's camp was struggling with injuries or issues, the fact that he gave such a positive and confident assessment says a lot. Meanwhile, fans have been eating up the training footage that surfaced recently. Clips have shown Khamzat going through intense sessions with Sarakan, mixing in wrestling, striking, and cardio work. Both men look sharp and hungry. The big question now is, can Khamzat stay undefeated and take home the middleweight title at UFC 319? He's been dominant so far in his career, showing off elite grappling, knockout power, and an intensity that breaks opponents. But Dricus Du Plessis is no pushover. He's the defending champion for a reason. He's tough, durable, and has shown he can pull off big wins under pressure. So what do you think? Will Kamzot Chimaev finally fulfill his destiny and hoist the belt in Chicago? Or will DDP continue his reign as the 185 king and hand Khamzat his first professional loss? All eyes will be on UFC 319 to find out. Next up, Ben Askren shared a positive health update that's really given fans and well-wishers something to smile about. It's no secret that Ben has been dealing with some serious health challenges recently, but his latest message shows real progress, courage, and an incredible mindset. Late Saturday, Ben posted a new video on social media that immediately caught the attention of the MMA community. The difference in his appearance and demeanor was striking. He looked significantly improved compared to earlier updates. He was speaking much more clearly, his voice stronger and steadier. He also sported a fresh haircut and a clean shave, a small detail but one that really underlined just how much better he's been feeling lately. In the video, Ben took a moment to reflect on how far he's come in just a few short weeks. He recalled reading a diary entry from a friend about Father's Day, a day that he actually spent completely unconscious in the hospital. That memory, he explained, was a powerful reminder of just how dire things were not so long ago. He admitted there was a period where he genuinely felt down on himself. Imagine being a lifelong athlete, someone who's always prided themselves on fitness, discipline, and health, and suddenly finding your body failing you in ways you never expected. It was a brutally honest moment from a guy known for his toughness, both inside and outside the cage. In the video, Ben said, "What's up guys? I want to give an update. Everything's going pretty well. Got another tube out. Only have one left." It was simple, but incredibly uplifting news for everyone who's been following his journey. He went on to share a deeply personal reflection. "I wanted to share a reflection. A month ago, they were talking about transplant evaluation. Feels like I came a long way since then." That line alone says so much about how scary things got and how far he's pushed himself to recover. Then he delivered what he called his Mental Mondays message, showing that even during recovery, he's still thinking about helping others. He admitted, "I felt sorry for myself one time. That doesn't do any good. I thought I never smoked. Why did my lungs get taken? Why does this happen to someone who smokes all the time?" It's a raw, relatable moment. Who wouldn't ask those same questions? But Ben didn't stay in that dark place. He explained, "Then I realized it happened. It's over. I could be bitter and angry, but it won't help. I am where I am, and I'm going to move forward the best I can." That's classic Ben Askren. Even while fighting his own battles, he's reminding everyone watching that you can choose your mindset, even when you can't choose your circumstances. He wrapped up the message on a hopeful, determined note. "Hope you're enjoying the updates. I won't feel sorry for myself. I'm going to get out of here soon. Have a great day. Peace." It's exactly the kind of update fans were hoping to see. A reminder that even in the toughest times, with the right attitude and a little bit of grit, you can keep moving forward. Ben's journey isn't over yet, but this latest message shows he's on the right path, and he's determined to keep fighting until he's back to 100%. And finally, the MMA community roasts Conor McGregor for leaked messages. This morning was wild. It all started last night when pictures of Conor allegedly cheating on his fiancée spread online. In the pics, he's seen very close with a woman, even about to kiss her on the beach. While this isn't exactly new for Conor, what happened this morning was unexpected. Rapper and songwriter Ilia Banks leaked DMs from Conor, showing him sending unsolicited pictures. You heard that right, Ilia went on X and shared the photos with this caption: "How you gonna send some crooked pics then threaten her not to tell? Do you know who I am? This is harem." Side note, she called him out hard. This dude really slid into the DMs for the first time, sending a pic of you know what, saying don't be a rat because all rats get caught. This guy is something else. Ilia kept going, saying, "How are you gonna harass me with the potato farmer, then threaten me not to tell? Honey, aren't you trying to be president of Ireland? Use some sunscreen, damn." She ended it by posting that Conor had blocked her after the messages went viral. And you know what makes this even wilder? It's Conor McGregor's 37th birthday today. The MMA community had a field day with it. Comments included, "As an Irish person, all I'll say is he's not part of us. Never was. I'm positive you're about to have the biggest lawsuit on your hands. Not gonna help his presidential run." Kabib really ended this guy's career. The pic of Conor lifting that tiny weight will be on the cover of my Conor McGregor book. He's a pioneer at defining rock bottom. Dear Conor's dealer, please cut him off for everyone's sake. Sincerely, every human on earth. And while it's funny to some, others called it what it is: predatory, disgusting, vile. This man wants to run a country? Lawyer Eric McGracken weighed in too, saying, "Sending unsolicited pics while in the middle of a civil trial appeal. Can only imagine his lawyer's head exploding." What are your thoughts on Conor McGregor's messages being leaked?